You ain't watching it to heat. So you don't get heated up too. It doesn't get wired up. Women do. Some women will flatten a man right there. Don't show she porn. She get badder than a bull. So here we all live in a life that when we kids get pregnant, we classify them as whore. They can't be a whore. They love what bring them into the world. The DNA made up with sex and for sex and by sex. Stop beating with girls when they have sex. Stop beating with girl children, but we leaving with boys to go out there and have sex with even a dog. Because some men that go out there and have sex with animals, first they hot. Some men looking for a ripe breadfruit, first they hot. I'm talking today. If you don't want your kids to know what to expect in life, move them out of the room. Because my show will go on. Because I have talented, experienced people. Sex shaming all your daughters out there in this world, putting them to have abortion, tell them to. There is no way no mother on this green earth should be telling the child who get pregnant very young. You don't want no pick me here, no breed here.
Yep.
Throw them outside to go and live. Go and live what? What do you think will happen when you throw them outside? You think they're going to stop have sex? They love sex. They're hot. Just like you. Because many parents just forget, hey, it's when I 16 I started my first thing, you know. Or it's when I 13 I start my thing behind the latrine, you know. Or it's when I... or it's when I 10 I started to have sex up by the big tank in Dalafort School, you know. Or it's when I 12 I start to have sex down in the canal by Belle Garden School, you know. We don't speak to our children. All we do is to judge them and have them making their babies in shame. So the mother made the child in shame. The child grow up now with the DNA and the genes, the shame. So the child, nobody ain't getting break free because I didn't get pregnant in freedom. Are you guys listening to me? Let's get back to the show.
So I wanted to clarify my part when I was 15 years. And
yes.
Mama Coco, honestly, and to my audience, I didn't know what sex was to enjoy sex at that time. It's after the fact, after I had my children. Who know what an orgasm was? I did not know what that was until after my first child.
So you didn't feel, so what feeling came over you as a young person that you, listen, because I have your story too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe me not even still know what orgasm is. You want me to go there today?
At the time,
are you listening to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Do you want me to tell you that many women just lie down there and just make a lot of old stupid noise just to impress the man, and they don't know anything about their body? I'm talking. You want us to go there today? You want us to turn this into a sex education class? Oh, they know already. But we're not gonna go there. We want to educate people.
Right.
You guys would be back. Because I believe I'm gonna turn Princess into my assistant talk host, because out of everybody who are asked at her age, everybody telling me they're waiting on God. Some of them say that they're going in the background. They rather help me in the background. I ain't throwing words to my girlfriend, yes. So on Sundays, I'm going to be bringing back Princess Melville on my shows.
Nice.
So she will be one of my co-hosts. And if a Sunday I can't keep the show, Princess will be hosting my show. Round of applause.
All right, nice.
Princess, what? You ain't giving yourself a round of applause? That after one show you have graduated?
I did.
Hey, let them know. Young Dalaford girl will be my co-host. Yes. Mama Joan, you're going to be coming back many times too, you know, because you're going to be on the panel on Sundays. If you want to laugh out your whole show, you could go ahead.
That's okay. No,
so there's a question on screen, Joan. Mm-hmm. As a teenager, how much sex education did you receive?
Not a lot. Only from school Only from school. Because my grandparents, they never taught us about sex education. Not a lot.
Even about your first period.
Yeah.
How did you learn it, from friends?
No, well, my grandmother told me about that. But all the usual
She told
things
you when it happened or before it happened?
when it happened. when when it happened. So
So
and
you
then
became educated after the fact.
yes. And
Did the
then
church, did our churches that you're going every Sunday taught you anything about sex education?
no, it
So
did
that
not.
was they did not.
No, they did not. And to make it even worse, it's 3 months after my first period, I got pregnant. So I started late. So that to tell how much I knew about that.
You see how we get into a spot. You see, you didn't even know that it's because of a period or the expectation of a period you can get pregnant.
Absolutely.
Else, they might do your thing a little different. They might leave, take it out.
That's true. Oh my goodness.
If he knew what an orgasm was himself. Hello.
Yeah, but
Because if you have sex with somebody as young as you or younger, them just doing it for the thrill of it,
Yeah.
or to score sexual points.
I
Am
think
I wrong or am I right?
you are quite correct.
Right.
Princess, as a teenager, how much sex education did you receive?
At home, none. At school, they will have like we had classes that taught us about,
Baby,
they didn't really teach us much either. They just took,
No.
well, you can get pregnant. They taught about STDs, but they didn't tell us like, okay, well, when you're having a period, this is when this can happen, or you can actually get pregnant before you see your first period. I learned that later in life.
so
And that's
did they
because the egg
teach you
is
about
released.
sperm and eggs connecting? Did you know about semen at that time when you were 12 and 11? No?
No.
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 So right now, can we say that comprehensive sex education is lacking
I
and was
believe so.
lacked
I think so.
in your time?
Yes.
It was. So in the house that you were, Princess, was it comprised of boys and girls older than you, girls who start to make babies young? Did you learn anything from your young cousins? And which one of them impressed you then and is impressing you now?
Girls and boys older than me. One of my cousins, I love her to death, and she's always there. My cousin Melissa, she had her daughter early.
About how young was my girl, Melissa?
She was 16 going on 17. She had her daughter at 17.
She had a daughter.
And
She had a daughter with the best boyfriend in town, or with her husband, or did he marry her, or she just was a single parent with her mother and grandmother and aunts around? Talk to me.
she was a single mom with her grandmother, her mom, and her aunts, cousins also, her sister. Everybody was basically there for her.
So what you gathered from that to move on? You thought
She had
that,
a lot of love.
yeah, a lot of love, but did you believe that because your cousin Melissa was successful, if you did what we are about to hear from you, you thought that you would have survived it?
I did.
You did. Speak up. You did.
I did.
So did her mom ever
Because I saw
offer
the support.
did her mom offer the education to her, or you think she just did it because she see other people doing it? Be careful, answer straight right.
I'm pretty sure she was educated.
You so sure? She had an old parent too, you know.
Yeah, her mom was older,
But she was open
she
like
was
that.
open.
So did you? So
She
did
was
you learn?
open.
So did you learn? Did she say, well, no, no, you're in here and do like this, you know, because all you might be lucky because all you could learn from Melissa's acts. I'm not calling anything no mistake. It is what it is. It is what it is. You have to stop giving names to people's action without knowing what cause. You see, cause and effect. Effect don't come before cause. It's cause and effect. What caused it and what effect? How did it affect you and what can you do to overcome? That's the life I keep. And I want to introduce everybody, my audience, they know me. You know the lives I used to keep before, but God gave me this platform here on a Sunday to teach, to reach, to provoke some people who believe that what they did in life was right. They know that they were wrong, and the reason why they're wrong is because they were trained and they grew up wrong themselves. You see, in the thought, I'm here to provoke your thought processes. How you think, why you think. I'm not here to misguide anybody. It may seem misguided because some people might be stuck in the ways, believing that they are right. You know, there are a lot of people in this world who believe that they could treat the anger. They can't handle the problems. So when I'm here on live, I'm not here to treat your anger. The anger princess could stay away from my life. You understand me? Princess that need help with a problem, you can show up. So to God be the glory this hour. We have passed our 1 hour mark. Things are going so good that we are here to move on. Looking back, ladies, because we are here teaching. We have to get Georgette ready. She's about to come on the show at an hour and a half. It's 1 hour, 11 minutes. Looking back, what practical things do you wish you were taught about sex in your teens? Boom. This is deep. Joan Phillips Pierre, this is your question first.
Okay, can you please repeat to me? Looking back.
Unmute your mic.
Yeah, I took it off. I was talking to George.
Looking back, Joan, what practical things do you wish you were taught about sex in your teens?
Well, I wish that I had known more to actually be more careful, you know, sexual-wise, especially I was in school, that I call it college here. I was in high school. I would have taken more precaution, right? So I wish I had known more about it.
Like, take for instance, can you talk about the name that, we're not going to use the one with the F, but do you remember being calling sex rudeness?
Yes. That's as in the early days, you know, children used to be doing, but I wasn't involved in. I wasn't.
No. I don't say you were involved in rudeness.
Right.
But that's what they used to call having sex.
Right.
It was vague. It was silly. So you believe now they're beating you every day. Home when you open your mouth, you're rude. When you do this, you're rude. So when you know that you do rudeness, how brave can you be to face your parent?
Scared to death. Very scared.
Princess, answer that straight up because I'm going back to Joe. Did you ever hear the word rudeness, Princess?
Yes. I did. They're doing rudeness or you just hear stuff like that. Don't do no rudeness around here. And that is all people, the older people, that's how they would bring it to you. Nobody ever said anything about having sex or intercourse. It's just, that's all a good place to do rudeness. Well, if I say something out my mouth, you're calling me rude. So am I doing the same thing that I'm saying? I didn't understand it.
Right.
If you use the F sharp word, you're rude, you're getting licks.
You're rude.
And you're going to court and you have to pay $24 if you use the F sharp. But when you're with a man and he's vulgar and he know what he's doing, he uses the word. Huh? Do you ever hear that word while having sex? Answer, no shake it.
Yeah.
Joan?
Yes, you do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are back to level. I bring all back normal because you know that word is trigger everybody to either laugh or to say, oh my God, Mama Coco going there. Mama Coco is right there right now. So I'm back now to you, Joan.
Yeah, yes.
Looking back, right? How were you first introduced to the act of sex?
First, I remember
you and Betty them used to talk about it in school.
First, the person used to accompany me and walking, you know, when I was coming from school and talking about it. And I said, well, I have not done anything like that before, so I stayed away from it. But I'll try to
keep it. It's okay.
I'm trying to figure out how to put it.
If you don't if you don't want to say it, you don't have to. Because everybody doesn't know the picture.
But when the neighborhood, my school friends saw me walking with that person every day, and they come in and meet me after school and walking down, they started telling me, you go on, you know what. What's sweet in cold mouth, go running behind. You ever hear that? Yes. You go on. And next thing you know, you're gonna.
So did he make you feel comfortable and trusty and you're trusting and you're believing?
Very trustworthy. I had trusted that person very much. And then finally this day came and they wanted to try. And as I said, that was 3 months after that period. So at that 3 months mark, usually they said sometime when you've just first started your period, you
start having sex.
No, when you start a period, the cycle starts, it will stop and you'll get a little gap, right? And then it's not regular, right? So when I got pregnant, I thought that was my irregularity. I didn't know I was pregnant.
Betty, look at your friend Betty, of whom you will speak about. She's saying, Joan, we used to plan this on the schemes.
So all that was in the make, Miss Betty. All that was in the make.
So you used to hear about sex storm.
Yes.
Sunday schemes. Yes, you know. So you used to get this thing. You used to talk sex with your schoolmate and your friend Elizabeth Foster Martin.
So I said, I'm going by Betty. And
Bring it.
I'm going by Betty and I'm going elsewhere. It's not going by Betty in the past. And those days
Betty used to live
close
Betty's
by.
home.
Yes. And then
and where your boyfriend lived, the boy that you trust.
You could watch down the street and see where they live. But at the same time, there's those days they didn't have a phone for your parents to call to find out where you are. So they wouldn't go down the road to get no pay boot to call because there was no phone to answer. Nobody to answer on the other side. So there's where my thing, and there's where it all started.
So Joan, we are here on this show so that young mothers can get ready and prepare themselves to be very conversational with their kids, with their teenage boys and girls. And instead of leaving your boys to run butt wild and taking the children away from them, you as a grandmother, bring the bikini gimme, leaving them not being responsible and to be fathers in the future. That's what mothers did long ago. And some of them still doing it today.
True, that's true.
So, Joan, you got your little schemes and I used to run a little scheme thing. Because Betty, your friend, her first child is from where you you from? So she used to come and look for you.
Yes. So it was like a training. But she come down and use me as a pass, and I use her as a pass.
So Toya, as a princess, you have that experience too? Let me make this show into our show. You used to use friends as pass?
I don't have. No. I could never trust my friends to actually remember to say, yeah, she was here, but she just left. So I'm just going. I would go to the mall.
So you didn't trust Brittany? You didn't trust Brittany? Not the nowadays Brittany. The Brittany Robinson, no Brittany, where she mom was your friend.
Yeah, Robinson, no.
You used to go out with Brittany? Joanne used to believe you're going with Brittany?
I used to go out with her sister, her older sister.
What was that sister name?
Petula.
So you were real stealthy. You were a schemer, you could say. You used to pull the wool over Joanne's eyes.
Pretty much sometimes.
Like telling she one day that you're in beauty school, but you're right sitting down next to me in the house. And I'm watching you in your face and shake my head, and when you come off the phone, what did I say to you? Don't pull that bullshit again. I said I wouldn't tell you what you just did, but don't you ever. Because she thought you were somewhere in Manhattan, they're looking for transport to come home, but you never leave the house.
I did that sometimes. I've done it.
You've done it. So would you here to tell young people that they shouldn't? That they should be transparent?
Be honest. Be honest. It's better to be honest.
So looking back, briefly, how were you first introduced to the act of sex? I think you started sex kind of young, yeah? Did you?
I did.
So what influenced you?
Friends talking about it, how good it was, and then some, like you said, porn. And you want to try it. You see this and you want to try it so
what
badly.
What did you say, princess?
And porn.
You used to see porn on your.
And then you want to try.
You used to see porn on your How you get to see the porn? When you are left alone?
I found videos, yeah. And I watched it, and one person came along and they were like, well, do you want to? I'm like, okay. Which was really stupid, but I can look back on it now and say it was dumb. Like Joan said, you didn't know what you were doing, but you just wanted to do it.
Well, these are honest truths. So when you did it, because you didn't see it happen on the porn, you didn't know about condoms, no?
We did. That was one thing. We did use protection. But the guilt that came after, like, I can't believe I just did this. I felt guilty. I didn't know why I felt guilty in the moment, but I felt really guilty.
Were you scared that you may get pregnant? Or that wasn't in your head?
Yes. I was, but the main thing that I thought about was STD, even though you use
I was now going on STD, but answer the question, you're right. Go ahead. Because you were taught in school
that
about STD.
That was the main thing they taught in school, STDs. They didn't really teach you too much about, well, they did say you can get pregnant, but they didn't go that deep into it. But even though you use protection, in my little mind that time, was like, oh my God, what can happen? What is gonna happen? I was afraid.
So when you became sexually active, did you approach any adult? Well, I know you didn't want to go to Joanne. What do you think Joanne would have done if you go to her to talk? Because Joanne is pretty young. Oh God. Answer,
My
baby girl.
mother would have lost her mind. I probably would have got a beating. So I didn't talk to any adults about it. I kept it to myself. I did talk about it with my little friends, but I didn't go to any adults about it.
Joan, the same for you. Once you became sexually active, did you ever approach so that you wouldn't be able to make the second child so quickly? Did you approach any adult because you were walking in Trinidad, you're walking in big time hotel Shaka Cabana, you're down there showing up your bandy legs with your midriff top because Joan, you are a beautiful young woman. You're still beautiful, but I'm talking about youth in action.
Yeah, I more or less, I didn't have the time to talk to anyone. I just went straight into it and learn, they said training on the job and learn on the job.
Because you had your second child when you were 8 years.
8 years after. So that means 16 plus an 8. Yeah.
24.
So my second child 24. Yeah, so I didn't really have time to talk with anyone. More or less, I just learned as I went along.
So
about sex.
Yeah, what can I ask in between here is, is your second child for the guy that impregnated you at 16?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you didn't stop. So you didn't learn anything for yourself. Hello?
No, you learn on the job.
But what did you learn on the job? Just to have sex without protection, or just to have sex because you're not enjoying it?
Well, at the time, what the guy did, he was dating other women, big older women, and he learned different stages from that person, and then came and tried with me.
Oh, so you were learning?
So I was learning as we go along because.
So you believe in practicality instead of theoretically. You wouldn't want to read no book. You weren't going for no advice from no adult.
At the time, there was nobody to really, advise me because I had moved out from home in Trinidad, because in Trinidad I was at the time. So there was nobody to go and talk with. So as I said, as the person learned from other people who he went with, and then he came, and that's when I started to enjoy it. After the first child, going to the second.
Oh, so you enjoyed it.
With the different things that you were trying, then I started to enjoy it. Yeah. So as I said, there was no enjoyment with the first.
So in your sense is that practice became perfect?
Practice became perfect.
Princess, what do you have to say? Did you ever approach any adults? You said no before, but I had an additional question.
No.
It's like, did you enjoy it, Princess?
The first time?
Well, you might enjoy it.
The second time?
Well, you start to practice.
I honestly
you didn't have to practice to learn. You were watching porn.
Pretty much, and I still didn't know what I was doing.
So did you learn any technique Did you learn any technique from porn that could make you be
a lot?
Yes. A lot.
I learned a lot.
She learned a lot. She learned a lot. So Joan learned on the job, and you learned from seeing stuff that became available to you because of the internet. Mm-hmm. So you believe that how parents, I don't know why I'm getting this feedback. Do you have anything to share to parents and to young people about the exposure of internet without they being supervising it to young men and young women, teenagers? What do you have to say? Because you have a teenager now.
I monitor everything. I put locks on phones. I have parental control on mainly everything that they have. So I unless they're outside of the house and they're with someone else and they're being exposed, I don't know. But I do ask questions. But if you inform them, give them the tools that they need, then they should be able to come back to you and talk about it, or ask questions about it, or you go ask questions, because I ask questions. And sometimes she looks at me like, well, why are you asking this question? I already answered you. I'm going to keep asking.
So would you advise your mothers
monitor what your kids do.
Would you advise your mothers to do as you do and do as you say? Because you know, it's not that you would do as you do alone, but do as you say. Say mean that you've been there and you've done that, and the effect has rippling effect on you. Okay, so how did you first feel about finding out you were pregnant? Mama Joan, let the mama answer you first.
Okay. Repeat the question, please.
Joan, you're not paying attention to when people answering to how you go answer. How you go answer Princess when the time comes. Remember?
Okay.
You are here to help Princess, you know.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So you have to pay attention. I know you're watching Betty and they must be talking to you. But
no, I'm not watching.
Your daughter is about to hit the show. So how did you first feel about finding out you were pregnant?
Okay, I was devastated, yes, because I had to go now and tell first my grandmother asked me, how come my period didn't come? And I said, well, maybe it's the little gap that you get in between, like when you first started, that little, space in between and stuff.
Because you couldn't tell she you had a little weakness.
No, you couldn't tell, say nothing. And then finally, as the time went on, because I remember I was still in school, I was still doing my sports, I was still doing everything. And as time went on, the belly started to show. And the breast, everything, the posture, everything changed. And then they approached me again, and my grandfather, I could never forget, he sat at the back step and he was smoking cigarette, chain smoking, when my grandmother told him. Well, she tied up her head the Grenadian way and she started to cry. And then I felt so bad. I didn't know what to do. So
you felt bad or you felt guilty?
Guilty, real guilty. I said, that's the end of my career. That's the end of everything. But as I said, I didn't let that hold me down. I just continued. But it was not... It was something.
But it seemed to me like your grandparents didn't beat you. Did they hit you or anything?
No, they didn't hit me. My grandmother said no abortion, because the other party, they said, well, I could either get married the next, the next year or something. And my grandmother said no, they did not go for because, they know what they were doing. Everybody just try a thing, and I get pregnant. She said, let us know each other more. And she said, no abortion.
Because you grew up in a very Catholic home,
yes,
did you?
Yes.
The reason why I am doing this is because you said it on your first show.
Yes.
So I only hope that I'm not making the engineers behind the scene angry. You see, many things that I'm asking you is because you already said it on the last show.
Absolutely. We're very, very Catholic. Yes.
And you believe that the guy was just talking marriage because you get to know him. He was just talking marriage because of...
Wasn't the guy, was the parents.
The parents.
Yeah, not the guy. And then my grandmother said no. Let them, they're young people. I was just turning 16. And she said no. That she don't think that is right, because we're actually forcing them and they might not even love each other. As a matter of fact, we don't even know what love is at the time. We just try a thing.
Because right now you know the difference between love and infatuation, yeah?
Yes. So at the time we knew nothing. I had nobody to tell me anything. As Princess had porn to look at and all that stuff. I didn't have access to that. We had a transistor radio, a singer radio. We didn't have nothing, no TV and all them stuff there to look at. So yes, you're talking about 51 years ago.
Hey.
Yep.
So, Princess, you could answer the question. How did you feel?
I wasn't in a good space because when I found out I was pregnant, I believe I called you. And I said
You didn't tell me you're
I
pregnant.
wanted to die.
No, you didn't. Yes. And I asked you.
I didn't tell you what happened. You're pregnant?
Yes. Yeah. As soon as she said that to me, I said,
you said yes.
And then she said, yes. Oh, you know. I said, I don't know. Just the way you call her crying with your nose stuffy, you can't breathe. All I said, what phone call this? You're pregnant or what? And then she said, yeah. How you know? So, Princess, tell us your state of mind during finding out. I don't want to know other things as yet. If that will ever come up, it may be in our closing statements.
I wasn't in a good space.
And all I ask you,
because, like,
did you tell your mother?
Said,
No, I asked you, did you tell your mother? And you said to me, no. I said, so what, you want to use me to tell your mother? And you said, yes. Talk to the people. Yeah. It wasn't easy for you. And tell them your age.
I was 21 at the time. Oh. And yeah, like Miss Joan, I took a pill. There's no shame that I took a pill and got a period, so I thought it worked. And then months down the line, you're feeling a certain way. I go to the doctor because I'm in pain. And she's like, oh, okay. They're like, well, you have a really bad UTI. And I'm like, okay, but she's like, well, the doctor wants to see you anyway. And I go back and they're doing a sonogram. And on the screen, she's like, yeah. And I see a baby flipping. And at that point, I'm like, well, you must be on crack because I'm not pregnant.
Because you saw a period.
And I felt like because I saw a period. At that point, I wanted to die. That's how I felt.
So that's when you called me?
Yeah. I had to call somebody. And you were the only person that I can actually talk to.
So why I never called for sexual advice?
I don't know.
Well, I want to thank you for calling me. And we have a beautiful daughter. And
we do.
So you know what? Porn set a high bar. You get brilliant to know that, I do this thing, but you went for the morning after pill, you know what I'm saying? And a period came, but it wasn't a period. It was just the extra blood after the eggs. I don't understand that part too fully. Because I'm not a doctor, but I get to know certain things because of life and living. Because you guys know this is Mama Coco Life and Style. Yeah? And we are here speaking about life. Yeah. We are speaking it in style. Because I didn't even get to show the audience. We're not going to take any more questions now. We are getting ready to bring on Miss George and Pierre.
Okay.
Joan Phillips Pierre daughter. So Joan, this is my look.
I love
this. Mama Coco Life and Style. So are we going to get a break or are we going to bring George and Pierre on? Engineer?
Take a break. She's ready for you.
Why are we still doing more? Jesus God. Now you are both young mothers in America. Is that all the question? That's the question. Now you are both young mothers in America. was it and is it like? Joan, you
For me,
fall
it's
in love. Joan, you fell in love, and what happened after you fell in love? You had more children. Talk.
Okay, so in America, when I came to America, well, we went over part of that, and I met my husband. Of course, I worked in Maryland for like about 3 months. Then I met my first husband. We got married, and then I started having the kids. You know, I had the 2 kids, Iona and Georgette. And as I said, I continued with school. And 23 years later, we divorced, and I got married to my second husband, Joe. So right now, here I am with Joe for the past 16 years. And the relationship with my ex-husband and I, we still have a very close relationship, very close.
Well, there is where your daughter will come in.
Okay.
Not right now. Keep that answer.
Okay.
So we're going to ask the question now to Princess. Mm-hmm. Princess, you are a young mother in America. What can you tell us? Your journey, and how many other kids do you have?
It's a struggle. Raising kids, it's not easy. And I have 2 other kids, 2 boys. And raising little boys, it's tough. Because the things that I did not go through with my daughter or experience with my daughter, she was pretty quiet. The boys are off the wall. It's just really hard sometimes.
So are you with the same father of your daughter?
No, I'm not.
So what's the age between your first daughter and your 2 boys? You don't have to say with everybody, but what's the age?
The first 2, there's like 3 years between them, and 5 years between the second and the last one.
So you used to live in New York when you had your daughter. What made you leave New York?
I did.
Sex, love.
I wanted to get away. I just wanted something new, and I did meet someone, and he kind of talked me into moving, and it didn't work out.
It didn't work out, or it's not working out? Past, present, future.
It's not working out.
But you were engaged. Why it's not working out?
You learn things as time go on, and the things that you learn, you know you don't want to be a part of. You see things that you didn't see before. I guess love blinds you at some point, and then something comes along to shake you up and wake you up. So there are things that I've seen, I've learned that I didn't want to see it before. It was always there. I probably just didn't want to see it before.
Powerful answer. And that is called maturity and growth. So do you have anything to say like to young women like you who out there looking for a better day when it comes to in love, infatuation, for sex? What do you want to tell them? You want to tell them anything like take time? Go ahead, Princess.
The best thing you can do is take time, not only for young women, but for young men. Take time to get to know the person before you put yourself in a situation that you will regret.
Sister Joan, you could help a sister out, you could encourage her. Do you think that's true? Joan not hearing.
I have to switch my earphone.
Okay.
Let me put it. Okay.
So did you hear what Princess was talking about?
No, I didn't hear her.
Okay. Well, there's a question here for you guys. I don't know how long the show is gonna go now because we're going into 2 hours soon. It is
Okay.
1 hour 44 minutes. How did you approach dating after becoming a mother and
Okay.
transitioning relationship?
Okay, after becoming a mother, the transition between both husbands, I did not allow any man to come into my home unless I was sure that he would be the one. So I kept all my, it wasn't dirty linen, but I kept all my linen out the house until I felt comfortable that should be the person that I will be with. So before they enter the home. So at that time, like for over 2 years, the girls and I were here and nobody came in to say, well, they were my significant other until I met Joe.
So were you abstaining from sex or you used to go outside and meet your friend?
No, I used to go outside. That's why I said I kept my linen outside. It wasn't dirty linen, but I kept my linen outside the house. Yes.
Amen. True to power. Experience is the greatest teacher.
Because another reason to have seen other people suffered from that too, because children throw things back at you, that you had no respect for them, and this is why they could walk in and out, with their significant other, or whoever they call that. So
coming in your house just to have sex.
Yes, and that ain't gonna happen here. It still ain't happening unless you're married. And Princess laughing. So it's true.
So you set an example there, and you still working with that?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm still working with it.
My God. Someone like I get me stuck right there. I can't even get there. So Robert Wendell is saying, Mama Coco, you would make Joan freeze. Oh my God. So why was it so important for you? You said a little piece to keep
the respect.
The
respect. It's just the respect. Because if you won't disrespect the children, they will disrespect you. I remember, Georgette might be online hearing us. I remember one time Georgette had a friend when she was in Boston in school that she got me. I said, you're sleeping in here with him here. I said, you. So I kept that bar, and I still keep it in. Anybody who's sleeping in here would be your husband to be or whatever. That's all.
So Joan, you get pregnant when you're 16, and you're dropping such a rule on everybody. Tell me why.
I wouldn't say it was a mistake.
No.
Because I love my children, but it's just that I didn't know better. Mm-hmm. If I had known better and I had the right guidance, it would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
you know better. You know better, so you're doing better.
Right.
You're practicing what you preach.
Do as I say, but not as I do. That was in the past.
Okay. So Nicola is saying that's so true. Tell them, Joan. Great example my mom uses to say, don't say as I do. But you're supposed to do it right. Yeah. Don't do as I say. But I know the saying. So Princess, can you answer that? How did you approach dating after becoming a mother? Did you take your daughter's future into consideration while you dating after you had her? Tell us something. We want to move on. But we can't move on without your answer.
I felt like I did take her future into consideration, but at the same time I rushed into something. But I should have taken my time. But like Miss Jones saying, take your time. And if I had that, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
it would have worked out better. But I rushed into something that I shouldn't have.
Wow. Take a deep breath, my ladies. This is awesome. I hope the information that we are sharing today, there is a spirit of gathering in our audience. There's a spirit of knowing that I am not alone. Other people did what I am doing now, and they're saying to cease and desist. Other people who been there, they're saying to us that sometimes we have to really inquire within and without. Something that you're confused with, you need to ask some questions. You need to talk to somebody. You need to find a therapist. If you are confused, don't entertain confusion. Strive for solution. So it is going to be, I'm asking backstage, it is going to be good. So Toya, what was happening around you in New York? Because you were working in New York, I guess you were at the time and stuff like that. What gave you the rush? You had someone that you could have talked to. Did you? What gave you the rush?
I did.
To tell us about the someone and tell us why you rushed.
To leave. I just wanted to leave. I just wanted to get away. I felt like it wasn't working out for me in New York City. And going somewhere else, maybe things would have been better. And at the time, I was scared to call. Because I know I can call you at any time and talk about anything. But you were gone, I believe.
Yes, I was in Tobago. I went there
something like that. And I was scared to call and tell you anything because I believe that you would have told me, no, don't do it, don't go. But
didn't I tell you
I
don't
know
go?
that you were going to tell me not.
Yeah.
You did. And I still went off and did what I felt like doing. What I thought was best.
But you had a cousin around that was there for you. She gave you the advice to leave too? I doubt that.
No, I don't think I didn't tell a lot of people that I was leaving. I just packed my stuff and I just left.
So who is your main cousin that helps you out and give you so much advice and she's so honest with you? Why didn't you talk to her?
My cousin Giselle. For the same reason. If I had told her, she wouldn't care about me leaving. If I told her I was taking my daughter and leaving, there would have been a problem because that's her child. I was just a surrogate.
Ooh.
So I felt like that's what she tells me all the time. I was just a surrogate. That's her child. But I felt like me telling her, okay, well, this is what I want to do. She would not have gone for it. She wouldn't have accepted that.
So in a sense, you didn't want to be.
So
You didn't want to be dissuaded. I know a lot of women like that.
Right.
You didn't want nobody to stop you
yeah.
because you believed in your move. Come on, just answer, because then everybody does believe in what they believe in. And you believe in your move.
I did. I believed in my move at that time.
You have to claim it, princess. You believed in your move.
I didn't want anybody stopping me.
Anybody stopping. You had another aunt, a great aunt. Did you consult your aunt and tell us about that great aunt?
I did not. My auntie Monica. I didn't tell her anything either. She just found out that I was gone. And I think I came back the following summer. It was either the following summer or a couple summers after. When I came back, I had a baby. I don't think anybody would have been happy with that.
Who was your Aunt Monica to you? You thought she would have stopped you, right?
Yeah, she would have. She definitely would have. But she was like a mother.
You ever live with your aunt Monica?
I did. When I moved to Brooklyn.
From the Bronx. How old were you?
Yeah. Sure.
Sorry.
I think like 10. I could have been like 10.
What school did you go to in Brooklyn?
Public school 135 and intermediate school 285, and for high school I did 1 year in Wingate.
1 year at Wingate. So how many schools have you been to since you leave Tobago?
Cheer. Like five.
That's a lot of movement for you. That's a lot of changing of friends and enemies and teachers who didn't like you or teachers who didn't believe you. And why did you only spend 1 year at Wingate?
I went back to Tobago for a third time. My mom sent me back to Tobago.
How old were you?
I was 15.
So you went to all these schools. You lived by your Aunt Joan first. You start schooling there. You went by your cousin Alita. Where did you go again? Who took care of you because your mom still kept working?
That was it. It was just family.
And your mom worked how? She worked live in? Or did she work coming home every day?
She did both. In the beginning it was live in, and then coming down like 13, I'd say 13, 14, 15. She probably came home every day.
To you, or you were in Tobago? When she used to come home every day, how long that lasted? Ladies and gentlemen, maybe soon I have to pull out my headset because the phone is saying low in battery. It was completely charged. What is living work, Princess? And do you appreciate living work? Especially for mothers who have young children, young daughters, young sons, or mothers who bring the kids to America.
I didn't like it. She worked as a nanny and she lived in. And I felt like I didn't have my mom as much as I wanted her.